Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. If you're new here, my name's Andy. I own Black Sheep Knives. We are an online retailer. I haven't really done a very good job of introducing myself, introducing the channel. I'm sure most of you, there are a lot of you who are new who have stumbled across my videos and see some things, and I know let me reorient the camera here. Now let's get a little better. There we go. I know I made a Benchmade video a couple days ago that ruffled some feathers, which is fine. That's okay. I'm not here to, be everybody's buddy. I'm just saying things how it is. I don't have a bias towards any company. I like knives, regardless of the company. Some companies make good knives, some companies make some bad knives. Some companies make good decisions, some companies make bad decisions. I was just pointing out a simple fact. That's my opinion. It is what it is. You're entitled to yours. That's okay. It's there to open up a dialogue, and that's perfectly fine. I don't dislike you, and I hope that you won't dislike me. It just, like I said, the whole video was just to address something that was bothering me, and I was curious if anybody else shared the same opinion. Some people didn't, some people do. It is what it is. But that aside, I wanted to introduce myself. Before I got into doing knives and the whole knife hobby, I was a 2D illustrator for 10 years. I did a lot of private client work, did a lot of animal portrait stuff, that kind of thing. Fantasy stuff, fantasy illustration, that kind of thing. If you're familiar with D&D, I really should sit down, but I don't really have a seat. I guess I'll kneel. D&D characters, that kind of thing. I did that. I went to school for art. Graduated, and then did that for 10 years. I also have a background in streaming. I did Twitch streaming for 5 years, 6 years, whatever. And then I got into the knife hobby accidentally. I happened to find Whatnot, which is where I currently sell. And at the time I was selling on eBay. I got into the whole reselling all the stuff that I had, things that I had accumulated over the years, stuff that I wasn't using, all that. And I was buying comics and some other, assorted miscellaneous inventory, and found a knife stream on Whatnot. And I was like, I could use a new pocket knife, why not, right? So, I bought a new pocket knife. And then they were doing a giveaway, and I ended up winning the giveaway after I bought the pocket knife. So I got 2 knives. And then sure enough, a couple weeks later, they show up in the mail, and I'm like, oh, these are pretty cool. So I, bought more, and it's just it went from there. And then eventually it went from 2 knives to 10 knives to 30 knives, and And then I decided, this knife thing is pretty cool. I should probably start selling some knives, because it got a little out of hand. I think I had like 50 knives. At the time, these were all Damascus knives. So I was like, okay, well, this knife thing is pretty neat. There seems to be a kind of a demand for it on this app. I enjoy it. I like learning about it, because at the time I was just a collector, and I was a very novice collector at that. So I figured, okay, well, how about we try selling knives, right? Mistake number 1. So I tried for probably a good 6 months to try. I bought about 20 knives, and I tried to sell them. Tried to sell them through, friends and family, Facebook Marketplace. That was a trip. Facebook does not like when you try and sell knives. I did have a couple people who were interested. I had a couple offers. I had a guy flake out on me a couple times. I had 2 different people flake out on me twice. And then after that, I was like, okay, whatever. I'll try selling on Whatnot, because I kept getting bugged to sell on Whatnot. So I figured, okay, I'll try to sell on Whatnot, and sold out of pretty much almost all 20 of the knives in my first show. I think I had probably like 4 left out of the 20 that I had. So I was like, oh, okay, this is like a thing, whatever. So that's how all this started. It's how Black Sheep Knives started. And then I creating the brand, I wanted to do something that was different. I wanted to introduce quality, but I also wanted to be somebody who brought something a little more unique, at least to Whatnot. The YouTube channel is a little different, at least right now. I'll get into that. But with Whatnot, I wanted, everybody was kind of selling like sort of the same mainstream knives. Like with Civivi, they're selling like the Elementums and the Praxises and stuff like that. With Kershaw, it was like Leaks and, you know, the Blurs, Bel Airs. What else? What was the other really hot knife at the time from Kershaw? Can't remember. There was like a, I think not the Cryo. There was another one that was maybe it was the Mixtape. I don't remember, but it was like a lower budget knife that was pretty affordable. It was like $20-$30, but kind of the same like repetitive stuff. It was all like, you know, it was like going to Honda and getting a Honda Civic, or going to Chevrolet and getting like, you know, a Silverado. It's all the same stuff, but it wasn't. You weren't really seeing a lot of like the weirder knife models that these bigger brands had. And I was like, you know, I really want to do that. I want to bring these more obscure knife models that these bigger brands are doing, and give more light to them. So that was kind of the goal, and I'm finally achieving that goal now. But that was the goal of like what I wanted to achieve with the brand. And as far as the YouTube channel, I want to achieve that goal, but I also want to you know, bring my kind of like unbiased opinion. I know there are some YouTubers that, you know, they just do like general reviews on a knife, and it's like, oh, this, you know, they just point out the things that, you know, all the good things, and that's that. I'm pretty picky when it comes to like what I like and what I don't like. I like knives that are really fidgety. I like knives that, you know, feel like they're quality made. I like companies that give a shit about their customers, I like companies that like put effort into what they're offering their customers, and put thought into the product in every new product that comes out, and aren't just like recycling the same thing, or it doesn't feel like they're recycling the same thing. Maybe they are, who knows, you know? I can think of a few companies off the top of my head. But whatever. Anyway, so that's how I approach this. Again, I love all knives. I have nothing against any specific knife brand. I'm not like a Kershaw hater. I'm not a Benchmade hater. I'm not a Civivi hater. I'm not a, you know, insert X knife brand here. You know, every knife brand puts out a knife that either does really well or does kind of meh. Happens, right? Sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't do well when they first release, and then people are like, whoa, this thing is really great, and then it picks up and people love it. It's just, I mean, that's how it goes for almost anything, right? I mean, look at, I'll give you a great example, Wind River. The movie's been out for like 10 years, and it's only now just starting to pick up traction within like I wouldn't say like necessarily the movie community, but people who are understanding that it's actually a really good movie. I'm sure there are other insert pop culture things here that you could reference. But anyway, this is me introducing myself, explaining some things, that kind of thing. I also wanted to point out, like, I'm in the process of making my own knife. Obviously, you guys, if you haven't seen, I'm working on making a fixed blade for the channel, and I'm recording it. I haven't done any work on that, hence why there hasn't been any further videos on it. I'm so swamped with other things, obviously trying to maintain 3 videos a week. I have a bunch of administrative work behind the scenes that I'm trying to do. A bunch of work dealing and working with other companies, dealing with inventory, and then doing custom knife stuff. It's just constant things that I have to do, and it's just really hard to keep up with everything. I'm sure some of you will understand, some of you might not understand anyway. But in the last couple days, also, before I move forward with that, I'm also waiting on inventory. So I usually sell on Whatnot like 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. Because of the holidays, my inventory order that I placed on the 3rd of December has been late. It's hypothetically supposed to get here today. Today's the 11th. I don't know if it will, but you know, one can hope. So usually I would be selling too. So not only am I dealing with obviously administrative work, custom knife stuff, you know, the social media side of the brand, also dealing with like selling, and then shipping. And then customer support. Sometimes, you know, you get like a faulty like light, like I sell flashlights as well. So sometimes you get faulty flash or whatever. You have to replace a product for somebody. Not a big deal, but it's a whole thing. Anyway, in the last couple days, because I'm late on inventory, I've been focusing on a folding knife. I've been recording it because it's sort of the creative space of things. Like I said, I went to art school, so art's always been a creative outlet for me, even when I was a kid growing up. Drawing was sort of my escape from the world. Well, anyway, doing anything knife related creatively, aside from the fixed blade, because I wanted to record that and save that for, you know, progression for the YouTube channel. But I'm working on a folder right now. So we have one scale so far. This is just made of normal stainless steel. Sorry, this is normal steel, not stainless. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with this or if I'm going to make both the scales out of, I believe this is micarta, if I'm not mistaken. I took the label off of it, couldn't remember, so I traced out the pattern here. It's going to have to get retraced, but I'm still in the process of reshaping the steel template for the scale. Because I'm not sure if I might want it a little smaller. So, the idea was, well, it's not stainless steel, and I don't want it to rust. So, what I would do was I'd send it out and have it Cerakoted. But if I don't want to go the steel route, I could just do micarta scales for both of them. Don't have to worry about it. And then that's that. And then the blade, which I'm still in the process of refining. So this is what we have so far. I was going to do a frame lock, but I'm still sort of on the fence about it. But I have to do some adjustment measurements on some things, but this is the blade shape for it. I might do a button lock instead. I'm not entirely sure. I'm on the fence about it, but this is kind of what I've been hammering away at for the last like 3 days. I do have another block of micarta here too. So, is this micarta? Yes, this is micarta. There you go. Oh, it's upside down. So, oh, I guess it's upside down regardless. So it is micarta, but yeah. So that's what I've been working on off camera, is like sort of my happy place, just to like relax, decompress, that kind of thing. This video is also going to be kind of all over the place, but yeah. What else is I going to cover? Oh, so yeah, I'm focusing on that. I'll keep you guys up to date on the custom folding knife. I'm not going to record it because, again, it's just sort of like my zen space. The fixed blade that I'm recording, there's video, the first like steps of the video on the YouTube channel. You can go check it out. Haven't done anything more with it. When I do, I will obviously record it, post the next process. I do have a design template that I made in Photoshop that I'm going to follow. I will cover that. I'm looking over there because it's sitting on the ground. Here, I'll show you. Let me flip it. Sitting over there. There's my bandsaw and my angle grinder and all that. So yeah, it's sitting over there by the bandsaw. And yeah, so let's see, what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, sorry, this is like I usually kind of have an idea of what I'm gonna do, and this is a very unscripted video. Oh, my knees. I was gonna show you guys some other stuff. So the whole video was gonna be like, I was gonna introduce myself, and then I was going to talk about the obviously the past video, which ruffled some feathers, which is fine. Not a big deal. Oh, and then and then the folding knife, covered that. What else? I was gonna show you guys some. So I did an unboxing of these, well, of one, but then I lost the SD card from my GoPro for it, so the unboxing no longer exists. So I'll just show you guys anyway. But before we get to that, I just want to say, if I, for the video that ruffled some feathers, again, no ill will. If you guys have a differing opinion from me, that's perfectly fine. At the end of the day, I love knives, you guys love knives, and that's what matters. Yeah, so I just want you guys to know that. I accept all opinions. So, yeah. Anyway, okay, I gotta stand up for a second. So, I recently acquired, for an absolute steal, I didn't even know this brand existed, a Hofner Knives WarMaster. Didn't even know this was a thing. This knife is actually really cool. When I got the package, I was like, holy shit, this thing is so heavy. Let's see here. Yeah, you're just gonna stare at my torso. Also, for anybody who's interested or wondering why I only have one arm, it was a birth defect. And yeah, that's it. It was a birth defect. It was an umbilical cord. My umbilical cord got wrapped around my arm. Prevented the growth of my left arm. So it permanently damaged the growth of my arm. And yeah, I was just born like this. So, got a flipper now. This is the WarMaster from Hofner Knives. Check this thing out. Look at that. Isn't that sick? Look at that. This thing is D2 blade steel. I don't know if these are stainless steel scales, or I assume they're probably stainless steel. This thing's heavy. You really honestly don't even need to deploy the knife. You could literally just throw this at somebody. It's a battle brick. You could like lob this at somebody. But this thing is awesome, man. Look at that. Isn't that sick? There you go. So it is a frame lock. I acquired this on the secondary market through Whatnot. And these are usually, when these first came out, these retailed for $250. I think I paid like $90 for this, which is a steal. Absolute steal. But so yeah, this thing is rad. I haven't carried it yet, but the action is just buttery smooth. If you can get one of these, I would highly recommend it. It's just such a cool knife, man. This is such a great conversation piece. I mean, I can't like just yoink it out in public, but like it is such a sick piece. So, okay, that's one. Now we'll move on to the next. This is a knife from another brand that I've wanted for a while. I was fortunate enough to recently become a dealer with them. I haven't had the chance to order inventory, but I will. But Midgards and Messer make some crazy shit. At least in my opinion. Maybe not everybody feels that way. But this is their, I don't remember what exactly it's called. I think it's this like their mini axe. But check this thing out. So it's got a magnetic sheath. You can unlock it by flipping this tab up, and then the sheath just comes right off, just like that. And then it's basically like a little knuckle axe. Isn't that cool, man? I think I don't know what blade steel this is. It doesn't say. I want to say it's 14C, but I don't know. I might have to look at the website to be honest with you. But this thing is absolutely nasty. It's got jimping all over it. Look at that. Look at that jimping. Look at that. Look at that. Dude, jimping everywhere. It's just jimp mania. Jimp mania. Look at that. My camera won't focus. There we go. It's so cool. Dude, I can't wait to get like one of their little Vikings or the little Beowulf. Oh man, their knives are so sick. But this thing is so cool. This is covered in sawdust now. I dropped this in the sawdust. Great. Good job, Andy. Dumbass. Yeah, I dropped it in sawdust. I don't know if you can see that. Note to self, don't ever drop magnetic sheath in sawdust. I'll have to clean that out more thoroughly later. But yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys these two knives. They're just so cool. I will eventually have some in stock through my Whatnot show. I just really had to show you because, you know, they're cool. So that's pretty much the video, more or less. I just, you know, want to sit down, introduce myself, give you guys a little history on my past, what I did for a living before I did this, the whole gist of the channel. Wanted to make sure there was no hard feelings, all that fun stuff. I do have one request. If you guys could, if you could leave a comment. If you've made it this far in the video, 1, I appreciate it. 2, if you could leave a comment, I would love to know what your first EDC was. Could be a flashlight, could be a knife, whichever, Leatherman, and what your favorite EDC is. Again, could be a knife, flashlight, pen, whatever. And then tell me what your top 3 favorite brands are. My first brand, like my first personal favorite EDC I ever had, I think my very first like brand knife I ever had was a Kershaw Volt. I got it for a deal. I think they were like $30 at the time. I think I got it for like $15. But the one that I actually really wanted, that I was stoked to get, was the Civivi Praxis with Damascus steel. That was the one I was super stoked to get, because I really liked Civivi at the time. I'd never had a Civivi knife. I still have it to this day. I've never used it. It's just in the box, sitting in my room in my collection. And then I would say my top 3 brands would probably be, oh man, that's a tough one. Not in any order. This is not in any specific order. Cold Steel, QSP, and Concept. It's probably my top 3 brands. Not in any specific order. Yeah. So, let me know what yours are. Hell, you could even tell me what your favorite knife is from a brand, if you want to. My favorite knife from a specific brand, like period, first one that comes to my mind, Kaiser Sheepdog. Absolutely love that knife. It's just ridiculous. It's stupid. You don't really need a knife that big, but super cool. But yeah, so let me know. This is, like I said, this video is me allowing you guys to get to know me. Hopefully I get to know some of you guys. So yeah, hope you guys have a good day. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I know you had to stare at my stupid face. Yeah. And that's it. Stay hydrated, eat some good food, and be kind to each other. Okay? At the end of the day, we're all allowed our own opinions, our own biases, whatever, but don't let that separate what brings us all together, which is at the end of the day, we all love collecting. We all love knives, EDC stuff, and that's that. So there's already enough hate in the world. Let's not add to it. Okay? All right. Later, guys.